Okay then, welcome everyone. Take this off. Welcome to the BizzTrek webinar tonight. We've got something very special for you tonight. We've always got something very special because this is such an early business. There's always something happening and there's always something exciting coming up. But needless to say, there is something interesting that I'm going to share with you tonight. So I've got an important announcement, but that's going to come towards the end. So let's start the webinar by asking the question, can money buy happiness? Now we hear this comment all the time, money doesn't buy happiness, but what does it really mean? Okay, you can't actually go into a supermarket or a store and buy something called happiness with money. But the reality is it does buy happiness in the sense that it gets rid of a lot of misery. Would you agree? Because if you're in debt or if you've got financial problems, you're not happy. So yes, money does buy happiness. And actually there was a survey done on this not so long ago by two prominent scientists, American scientists, about 10 years ago. And they found that a certain amount of money does bring happiness. So the question is, how much money do you need to be happy? Well, you'll be surprised because it's not that much. Now, just to give you an idea, in the UK, the average income is £2,330 a month. Okay, that's just in the UK. Well, everywhere you can imagine that virtually 90% or most of that goes into usual expenditure. Things like mortgage, rent, car payments, gas, electric bills, shopping, other bills, cards and debts, etc. And only 10% of that money is left over as what we call disposable income. Disposable income is really the money that we have to spend on ourselves. In other words, going out, enjoying ourselves, leisure money. And the truth is, it's not a great deal. In the UK, that equates to £233 a month, which is only about £53 a week. And as I say, it's not a lot, which is probably why so many people rely on credit cards and even get into debt. But what if we could do something about that? What if we could change that 10%? Well, let's look at it this way. If we were to just increase it by another 10%, you've pretty much doubled somebody's lifestyle. Now they can go out twice as much, enjoy themselves twice as much, go on holidays to twice as better locations. And that's just with an extra 10%. What if it was maybe an extra £500 or even £1,000 a month? For most people, that would be life-changing. I'm on about the UK here, guys. £1,000 a month is life-changing for many people, because it means they can do all the things they really want to do without having to worry about the bills and the stress and everything else. And that's really what people want. They don't want to worry about debts. They just want to enjoy a normal lifestyle, go places and do the things they want. And the surprising outcome of this survey was that 92% of people would be more than happy with just an extra £200 to £1,000 a month. That's it. They don't need $500,000. They don't need 50,000 or 100,000. They don't need anything like that, just £200 to £1,000 a month. The problem is nobody really knows how to go about it. Well, that's where we come in, okay? What if we could show you a simple down-to-earth business opportunity where you could earn €5,000 in cash, €1,000 a month passive income, at least, and qualify for €300 a month towards a car without selling, within 90 days, and here's the best part, all for just €20 a month. Would you be interested? Of course you would. Who wouldn't be? So the question then is, what does it involve and is it difficult? Well, the simple answer to that is it's not that difficult, because to be honest with you, nobody really likes hard work. Everyone wants to do something simpler, easier, and that's the beauty of this business. It's very simple and it's very smart. There's a saying, why work harder when you can work smarter? And that's exactly what this business is. So I'm going to show you 5 reasons why this business opportunity, BizzTrek, could be the smartest opportunity for you in 2019. And let's start with the first reason. As I said, the cost. It's only €20 a month. Now, this is, at the moment, we're in pre-launch, so it's €20 a month now, but when we launch later this month, beginning of next month, it's going to be €25. So if you're coming in now, brilliant, because it's going to stay at €20 a month for you for life. And with that, you get a €20 voucher, which you can spend in our Prime store, which I'll explain to you shortly. The second reason is our product or service. It pretty much sells itself. There's a saying, if you had a product that is worth more to the customer than what it costs them, you won't need to sell it. They'll be more than happy to buy it from you. And that's exactly what this product does. We help people we help customers save money and businesses make money. And this is how it works. One of the ways we do that is through something called our Prime Store, which I mentioned to you, which will be coming very shortly, where you can save up to 70% on products and services that you normally buy. So customers will be able to buy there and businesses will be able to sell there. And that includes local businesses as well, okay? And this is where you'd use your 20 euros voucher. You'd be able to use it to redeem for products and services. The second thing is then businesses can also promote to other customers, not just people in the Prime Store, by having their own customizable web page. The beauty of this is they can run unlimited advertising campaigns, so they can do this on social media if they want. They get feedback ratings and reviews as well. So it's a great way for them to get more business without having to do a great deal of work. Customers can also benefit from our cashback card, which is UK based, where they can get up to 5% on their shopping with over 50 high street retailers and supermarkets. And that's in the UK at the moment. We are looking at doing it in other countries. But just to give you an idea, these are the stores that is available in. So you've got places like Asda, Marks and Spencer, Sainsbury's, Waitrose. These are big supermarkets. And then you've got all the high street shops, Argos, Boots, Debenhams, and loads of others. So you can, if you want to freeze this when this is being recorded, so if you want to freeze this, you can watch it later and look at the list. And then we also have the global BizzTrek MasterCard. Now, believe me, guys, this is an amazing product, because I thought, okay, everyone's got a MasterCard, everyone's got a Visa card, here's mine, and I've got loads of other cards. Who's going to want another MasterCard? The truth is, in other countries like Pakistan, India, and I'm sure a lot of African countries, this is a great product. For them, it's brilliant because they can now use a MasterCard and spend it in shops. And the great news here is all your commissions are paid onto this, 100%. And it's a global card, so it's available everywhere. Customers in the UK can also benefit from saving on their energy bills. We can allow them to compare with 95 suppliers in the UK, and that's for gas and electricity, and they have access to all the tariffs, and they can pick and choose which one they want. But we're also running a special campaign where customers get entered into a free prize draw, where one person can win a whole year's worth of free energy. So that's another bonus. And then we also have other products that will be coming soon, within the next 2-3 months: car insurance, life insurance, travel insurance, pet insurance, etc. So just to give you an overview then, what do you get for your 20 euros a month? You get the Prime Store, where you can use the vouchers and save money. That's one of the biggest things that we're doing. That's coming very, very shortly. And it'd be just like Amazon, but the beauty is they'll have services on there as well, and local businesses. There's also the 5% cashback card for members in the UK, the Visa cashback card. And it's not just one retailer, it's 50 plus retailers. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are loyalty cards in the UK, and they only offer 0.5%, and they're usually with one retailer. And there's millions of people that have them. So this is 10 times better, and it's got many more retailers. So that alone is worth selling. And of course, people can save on the energy bills. Then we've got the BizzTrek MasterCard. The businesses can run unlimited advertising campaigns. And the best part, really, I think, is the passive income. There's an opportunity for you to earn an income from this. And this is what you get for 20 euros. So when I said if you have a product that's worth more to the customer than what it costs them, you really won't have to sell it. We aim to get people 2 to 5 times the value of their 20 euros a month. So the third reason then is the income plan. Okay, we have a really powerful compensation plan. I'm not going to go into it in detail at this stage because it's a little bit too complicated, but we have a video that explains it in more detail. But I'll just go through it very quickly. It's based on something called a 3x10 matrix, but it's got a slight twist to it. A 3x10 matrix works like this. You can only have 3 people directly underneath you. Okay, they can only have 3 people under them. So that's 9 on your second level. They can only have 3 each under them. So that's 27 on your third level. And then it just keeps multiplying all the way down 10 levels until you fill all your matrix. And if you were to do that, then you'd end up with over 88,000 people in your team. The great news with us is sorry, we actually pay you €1 per person per month up those 10 generations, okay, to 10 levels, 10 generations. But the great news is you can earn beyond 10 levels, okay? But I can't explain that in this presentation because it'd be too much information at this stage. And of course, with the matrix, there's also an autofill feature. This is how it works. So let's say you've introduced 3 people yourself, Bob, Sam, and Jane. But you also have 2 other people that want to join. Now, your first level is filled. So they would then have to go under Bob and Sam. And the system will distribute them evenly because that's the fairest way. And we call this spillover. So now Bob and Sam have actually benefited from your efforts because they've got members in their team that they can earn from, that you introduced. Now let's say Bob starts to introduce people. Once he's filled his first level, he's going to spill over onto his second level. Okay, so his team now benefits. And then obviously once you've got a few people in your team, the thing starts to develop and grow and you get a bit of a snowball effect. And this is what happens. So if you've got anybody else that wants to join, whether it's you introducing them or people above you, they would then fall under Sam and Jane. And that's because it spreads them evenly. But then if Sam starts to build her team, anybody else coming in from you or people above you would fall under Jane because that's the weakest leg. And this is how it works. And the reason I've done it like this is based on the first week's growth. This is a real life example. It actually went down 18 levels, would you believe? And the reason I mentioned that is because with our plan, you can actually get paid much further down. It can go 50, 30, 40, 50 levels. But you'd have to watch the proper presentation to understand that. And obviously, other people in your team can also create spillover. So in a normal static 3x10 matrix, you only earn down 10 levels, but we don't work on levels. We work on generations, so it goes much further down. And to qualify for that, there's only 2 criteria you need to fulfill. The first one, obviously, is you've got to pay your monthly subscription. So you're paying your €20 a month, or a lot of people now are going for the annual membership, so it's automatically taken care of. And then the second criteria is that you've got to introduce people. You earn down 1 generation for every person you introduce. So if you've got 2 people in, you're earning down 2 generations, 3 generations, 4, and so on and so forth, okay? And that's it. The maximum is 10 generations. And you can earn all down all the levels then. So here's an example of what you could potentially earn. Forget the 10 generations and let's forget the 10 people. Let's make it really simple. Let's just say 5, because that is feasible and a lot of people are doing that. So if everyone averaged just 5 people each, you introduce 5 people, they introduce 5 people, so that's the 25 on your second level, 125 on your third level or third generation, 625 on the next level, and then 3125 on the 5th level, and you're earning €1 per person per month, and that would give you €3,900 a month. That's just 5 generations and everyone introducing 5. You see the power of that? This might even if this took you a year, is it worth it? Of course it is. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, guys. This is a get-rich slowly but surely if you stick to the business and follow the plan. That's what it is. Yes, you can make good money in this. In fact, if you were to go down another level, 6th level, that could go to nearly 20,000. So that's just an example of what the potential is. The 4th reason then is the car plan. Now, we do have a corporate structure, which I'm not really going to go into great detail, but needless to say, a lot of people are hitting these positions very, very quickly. So we've got leaders, we've got managers, and we've got directors. And each position has its own business, senior, and executive rank. Business, senior, executive. We've already got people at the top managers section. So that's the sixth level. So executive managers, we've got a few of them. We've got loads of business leaders and senior leaders and executive leaders, but we have yet to get a director, okay? And this is the best part. Once you get to the director position, that's where you can start qualifying for the car. So we're only 2.5 months into the business and we've already achieved people getting to that stage. Once you get to the director position and you're earning at least €1,000 a month, you qualify for €300 towards a car of your choice, preferably something nice. So we've used the BMW 3 Series as an example, but you've got a choice. And if you do this all in 90 days, you also earn a total of €5,000 cash, or you can earn if you've do it through the right timing. Plus, you're getting €1,000 a month on top, passive income, and your car. A rule of thumb is once you've got about 100 people in your team, you'll get that snowball effect. And it's not that difficult to get 100 people. But on average, I think the teams are growing at around 2 to 3% per day. But here's just another example. Even if your team was just growing by 1% a day, and you've got 100 people, do you know how many people you'd end up with in 1 year? 3,700. 3,700 if it was just growing at 1% a day. And for a lot of people, it's going at averaging 2 or 3%. So that's just an example. The final reason is the most important, and I think this is probably the most significant one because this outweighs all the others that we've just talked about. And that is the video marketing system. And I'm going to explain why in the next part, because I'm going to do a little training video, training presentation right at the end, just a few minutes, because this is going to do 90% of the work for you. You won't have to explain any of this. And believe it or not, this is imminent. We are in the process of getting this ready, hopefully by the end of this week, because we've got the first part done and it's ready to be launched, okay? So the question then is, how do you start? Well, we've got two options. You've got a monthly option where you can join, which I mentioned, which is €20 a month. You get the €5 saving because you're joining before the actual launch, and that's for life. So you'll always be paying €20 a month, but you also get the €20 voucher, which you can redeem in the Prime Store. However, if you go for the annual membership, you're paying €240 a year. You're saving €60 a year, but you get €240 worth of vouchers up front. But here's the great part. You can also have the opportunity to get your money back if you join as an annual member. And this is where the announcement comes in, okay? So for those of you who are already in the business, you know about this. You know that we have a money back scheme, okay? But it's slightly changed. It's slightly different. We are now running it so that it's a 1 in 10 chance of you getting your money back. So every 10 people, new members, are entered into a pool, okay? And then one is randomly selected and they get the 240 reward. However, the sponsor gets 120 reward, okay? So we've changed it slightly because previously it was 1 in 20 and everybody was getting the sponsor and the gold subscriber was getting the 240 reward, but we've changed it, we've modified it and improved it. So now every 10 members gets the 240 reward. And the reason we've done this, guys, is the more people getting the money back, the more excitement we'll have, the more social media presence. People will be posting pictures on social media, and it's going to create a buzz because nobody else is doing this. People are going to see this and say, what is this BizzTrek? What is this about getting the money back? 1 in 10 chance. But the great news is that as a sponsor, you also get a chance to get to 120 back. But if you remember, it was 1 in 20 in the previous time when we're doing it. So in a way, it's still the same. You're getting 1 in 20, you're getting 120 out of every 10 opportunities. So that's out of 20 opportunities, 240. But the sponsor also must be a gold member. Now we're just running this for February just to see what sort of effect it has. I personally believe this is going to be massive. It's going to bring in a lot of people because it's going to make your business so much easier. If people realize there's a 1 in 10 chance of getting the money back, they're going to do it. But the sponsors have unlimited opportunities to get the 120 euros. So every time you introduce somebody, if they get their money back, you get 120 each time. So, you know, it's a very, very exciting incentive. And finally, we just want to cover one thing, and it's called the power of one. Now, I'm sure some of you have come across this before, but let me give you an example of how it works for those of you who don't know about this. The question is, what would happen if you were to introduce one person per week for the next 12 weeks? One person a week for the next 12 weeks, and everybody in your team did exactly the same. Okay, so let's look at that. So let's say there's yourself, and you introduce one other person. Now there's 2 of you in your first week, and then you 2 introduce 1 each. So that's 4 of you in the second week. 4 introduce 1 each, that's 8 in the third week. 8 introduce 1 each, 16. 32, 64. So after 6 weeks, you've got 64 people in your team. Okay, how many people do you think you'll have at the end of 12 weeks? You can have a guess, okay, but let's go through it anyway. So it doubles every week. 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096. 4,096 people in 12 weeks. All you've done is get one person each, and everybody in your team have done the same. And that's the power of one. And you're getting €1 per month. That's 4,000 euros. But let's be completely realistic, guys. Forget 12 weeks. What if it was 12 months? If you did that every month, 12 months, after 6 months, you'd have 64 people. But after 12 months, you'd have 4,000. Isn't that worth it? It's only €20 a month. There's very few people that are going to pack in a business because it's €20 a month. And more importantly, once they've got a few people in their team, they're never going to stop because they realize that those people are going to start bringing in other people. And that's the beauty of this business. It's very, very easy. It's very affordable. And that's why people are coming in so quickly. So that's the end of this presentation. But I'm going to go through a very quick training now because this is to help people that have joined the business. I got a message today saying, I don't know how to do this business. What do I do? So I thought I'd do this. But the great thing is this part ties in with the video marketing system anyway. Now, a lot of you may probably know this, that a lot of people fail in this particular industry, okay? But I'll be careful with that word fail. Why do people fail in network marketing? Well, the main reason is they don't know how to approach people. But we're going to take care of that because the video marketing system is going to do most of the work for you. So that's not going to be a problem. It's going to do 90% of the work. And this is how it works. There's something in marketing called the AIDA formula, and it stands for A, attention, I, interest, D, desire, A, action. That is how marketing works. It's a psychological process that we all go through when we take interest in a product or service. The irony is that very few marketing companies actually use it. And this is bizarre because this actually works. This is a very powerful technique, but the marketing companies out there are really design companies and they don't really use this. But I'm going to explain how it works. So if you were to see, for example, a newspaper, you'd see a headline. That's there to get your attention, or a picture. You'd then read the headline and there'll be a subheading that'll get you interested. Then when you get interested, it'll create desire and hopefully some sort of action if it's an advert for a product or service. And this is how ours is going to work. It's going to be a really simple 5-step formula. The first step would be you would send them a WhatsApp message or a text message, which would already be pre-written for you. And it'll say, just have a look at this quick short video. So, you know, like we always send videos to each other on social media, or it's a funny cartoon or something. It's as simple as that. Your prospect would get the text link, the video link, and they'd watch a very short video, roughly about 60 seconds, that will highlight this business opportunity. That's already been recorded for us, and it will be ready in the middle of next week. So about Wednesday, we'll have that ready. Once they've seen that, that will give them enough interest to want to watch the actual presentation, which is pretty much like this. So that'll be a 15-minute presentation tops, okay? Now they've interested, they've seen the presentation, the next step is, I want to know more. Or they might actually join the business, they might actually sign straight away. But if they want to know more, there'll be other short videos that'll explain things, a little bit like the Getting Started video, and that's when they get involved, okay? So this is the process, AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. The great news here is that once they've joined, what do? They will watch the Getting Started video, which will explain all this and says, you do exactly what you've gone through. They've actually been through it, so they know it works. So they would then do the same as you, send out a video link and let the marketing system do the rest. This will be all on your we'll have a landing page on your site, and all you'll do is send them your link with a short message. So that's how the AIDA system works. But the question is, which of these 4 is the most important? Is it attention? Is it interest? Is it desire? And is it action? Most of you would say action because that's where people join, but you'd be surprised it isn't. It's attention. And this is the reason why so many people fail in network marketing. The statistic out there is supposed to be around 97%. But the truth is, people do not fail. they give up. They simply give up. It's not that they can't do the job. It's just that they've tried it and it hasn't worked for them. And it's because of the approach. So this is how we're going to, this is what we're proposing. So you've seen how the ADA formula works, yeah? You've seen how the marketing system works. But you're still going to get people that are going to struggle. So this is a well-known statistic, and I'm going to explain how this works. When you first approach people, even if you were to send our video link to people, you're only going to get a 2% response the first time. If you were to send that video link again or contact that person, you're going to get a 3% response. Okay? Out of all the people that potentially could join, only 5% would have joined by now. When you send it a third time, you're going to get a 5% response. You've doubled it now. And if you were to send it a fourth time, you'll get a 10% response. My point being is that 20% of the people that you could potentially introduce into your business will need to be approached at least 4 times. 4 times. However, the vast majority, 80% of people, would need more persistence. 5 to 12 times that you're going to have to approach them or contact them or explain it or something. So the question is, what does all this mean? What does all this information mean? This is where it all fails. At the first 2 steps, most people try a couple of times, they get 5% of people in, which might be nothing, okay? This is right, it doesn't work, they give up. This is where people fail. But if you keep pushing, it'll get easier because you're going to get 3 times more people, okay? And then if you really keep persisting, and this might take a month or 2, 3 months, let's say, that's where your best people are going to come in. Your best people, your best prospects are not going to come in straight away. They take time. They're going to watch you, how are you doing with it, is it working? And after a month or 2, 3, that's when they start to come in. So my point is this. Let's say you send that teaser video the first time, you're going to get a 2% response. Don't give up. Send them a text message the next day saying, did you watch that video I sent you yesterday? Nope. Okay. Maybe send them another text message or even call them on the phone and say, look, I sent you a video. Can you watch it, please? So this is your 3rd contact. You don't have to send the same video 3 times. This is your 3rd attempt. 4th attempt, you might ring them again or you might go visit them. Sit down with them and go through it on the phone and say, look, just watch this 50-second video. Once you've done that, that's when you're going to get people. And then you just keep repeating. And that's all you have to do. It's a really, really simple business. Just keep persisting. Okay, so you've heard this anagram, KISS, keep it short and simple. The key to success is don't try and explain anything. Don't ring them up and try and explain what the business opportunity is, because that's where most people fail. Remember I said to you, it's the approach. And don't try to go see them or invite them to a meeting or anything like that. Just send them that 1-minute teaser. That's it. Then follow up and keep persisting. That's the key to success in this business. And this is going to be ready probably end of this week, beginning next week. So you'll be able to build your business very easily just by following this system. And everybody who watches the videos are going to learn this what I've just shown you. So they'll understand how to do it as well. Okay, that's it for the presentation, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to pass you back to Gurpreet or Rizwan or Rehan, and they're going to introduce 1 or 2 people who've done extremely well in this business. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next webinar next week. Okay, Gurpreet, I'll hand you back now.